movies, magic, and more.
No, it's movies, music, and magic, Stephen. Come on.
We've only been doing it for over a year, so it's fine.
It's okay. You'll get there in 5-6 years time, maybe.
Yeah,
when I've stopped making videos on YouTube.
When we get to about Moana 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the Jamie and Stephen Show. Let's talk movies, music and magic with your hosts, Jamie and Stephen. And a very, very special guest. We have YouTuber Sam For Good. Hi.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for turning up.
I'm loving it. It's been great. I've loved chatting to you so far.
No,
I shouldn't have said that.
No, it's fine.
Because it's the beginning of your podcast. Oh my God, have I ruined it? No. Okay.
We're going to keep that in. That's
don't
worry.
Okay.
No, but don't you have a tagline that you use for your videos?
Hi everyone, how's life?
Yes, that's it.
How is life?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
I've had a decent life as well today.
Yeah. Oh, I had work, so that wasn't so good. But, oh well.
I'm glad it's over.
I've been
ill. Oh God.
I'm doing this highly medicated. With a lot of...
Wishing you the best.
Yeah. Right, so this week's film is The Little Mermaid. Now, we're just going to quickly mention a couple of things straight away before I forget. It's 35 years old this year.
35? Wow. 89, yeah.
When this podcast is released, it's actually released on Mickey's birthday.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Mickey's going to turn...
How
old is Mickey turning? Like 94?
No, he's older than that.
96.
96, you're right. 96. 2018 wasn't his 90th.
Yeah. And it'll also be my sister's birthday. And she'll be in Disneyland Paris.
Well, your sister has the same birthday as Mickey. That's so cool. And I hope she has an amazing time in Paris.
And same age as Little Mermaid.
Amazing.
Oh, well, now anyone's a fraud.
Yeah.
So her birthday is the same month, same year as The Little Mermaid.
Wow.
I love that. That's actually really... Is The Little Mermaid one of her favourites?
It is actually, yeah. When I told her that you were the guest, though, and she couldn't be the guest, she was like, "Okay, fine, because it's Sam. I'll let."
I'm so sorry to you. What's your sister's name?
Holly.
Holly.
Yeah.
Sorry, it should have been you, really, because my relationship with Ariel is very ironic.
Well, that's why we wanted you to be on this particular episode.
Okay.
Your feelings about Little Mermaid.
Okay.
Warmed to her now, though, haven't you, over time?
I have definitely warmed to her. I think the live action movie genuinely really helped, weirdly, because they tried to give everything a little bit more of a backstory, and Ariel was a little bit less dumb. Sorry, Holly. No, I think the movie, the live action helped. And I think with this joke that I've had about liking her but not really liking her because she's a little bit, she makes some questionable decisions, I think. And so many big Little Mermaid fans have reached out to me over the past decade of me chatting about how I find Ariel a little bit annoying, and kind of some of them find it hilarious and they agree with me, but there's also been some people who've sent me essays about why I should love her and like why my perception of her is wrong. And I've read through them and I'm like, you know what? I see what you're saying. I'm open to seeing different perspectives of how I look at things, you know? So I think that has also bizarrely helped. So shout out to all the Little Mermaid Ariel fans who've, messaged me in the past 10 years. You've somehow helped me like her a little bit more.
And they kind of want you to do a book review of their essay. So...
Yeah, I should really do that. Can you imagine, like, of all the different essays on why Ariel is actually a really good protagonist?
Yeah, we like the live action, actually, didn't we?
Or
have I got that wrong? Oh, I did.
Oh no,
I'm a live action fan. I'm not going to lie.
Well, yeah. No, I'm not either, but that's
It
definitely
was one of the better ones, I would say.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, that under the sea scene, I was like, oh, this is amazing! Like,
Yeah.
loved that.
It was.
And I love her song when
Yeah.
just become a human and they're dressed in her, and I've got that on
Yeah.
my playlist.
The thing I
It
couldn't.
made it a little bit easier to relate to Ariel's character, I think. And it makes sense because the live action was made last year. Like that's when it was released. Whereas the as you said, almost 35 years ago was the cartoon. So I think they just I don't know what it was exactly in the direction and the storytelling, but it just was a little bit easier to understand why she wants to give up everything for this man that she's never met.
Well, maybe once we've gone through our facts,
Okay.
there might be more insight as to why they did what they did. So
Exciting.
we always do this thing on where I do the IMDb synopsis and then Stephen makes up his own.
Okay. I love that. Brilliant
So-
idea.
IMDb, a mermaid princess makes a. Sorry, hold on. I can't read my writing.
Don't worry.
A mermaid princess makes a Faustian bargain. Is that a word? Faustian.
It must be.
Okay. Faustian bargain in an attempt to become human and win a prince's love. Yeah.
I think mine is spot on.
Is
to be
that?
honest with you.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what they were on about.
Okay.
And mine's actual words people know.
No, yeah.
So, when a father leaves a musician to look after his youngest daughter, she makes a deal with an exile, runs away from home, and tries to manipulate a rich man to fall in love with her.
Amazing.
I mean, I think,
Yeah.
It's a little bit more accurate, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was actually a clean version.
That's what I think you, Stephen.
They've not always been as clean as that.
It's got 7.6 stars on IMDb.
Oh.
It is an hour and 23 minutes, so we're going past the hour and a quarter mark,
Mm-hmm.
and we're heading more towards the hour and a half.
Perfect length, by the way. I think movies should be an hour and a half maximum.
Yes.
A little bit
Yes.
shorter might be too short. An hour and 3 minutes. Perfect.
Well, we've noticed doing this that there's a pattern where the hour and a quarter was the standard running time up until I think it was like Fox and the Hound,
Yeah.
Okay.
and it creeps into the 120 mark. And now we're going past the 120 and we're getting closer to 90-minute mark.
Yeah. Interesting.
I mean, now if it's closer to 2 hours sometimes.
Yeah, 2 hours, sometimes even a little bit longer than that it can be.
Yeah. Right, directors. Ron Clements and John Musker, who we've spoken about before.
Yes.
Because they were Basil, the Great Mouse Detective. And they go on to do Aladdin, Treasure Planet.
Yes, that's Baby. That was Ron Clements's baby. That's what he wanted to do. So he put forward the idea of Treasure Planet first, before The Little Mermaid was put forward. And they were kind of like, if you do these films, like if you do this, if you do that, we'll think about making your film. So
yeah, I don't know if you know this, Sam, but when Eisner and Katzenberg came in, Katzenberg introduced a GOM with the animators. So they would have a meeting and it was a GOM meeting. And an animator could put forward 5 ideas and they used the GOM for people's turns, I guess.
Okay.
And from these meetings that most of the Renaissance came from.
Oh,
So
didn't know that. No, that's so interesting.
it was obviously from this one as well as like Treasure Planet. Okay, we don't see that for another 13 years or something, but
yeah.
So, but yeah. And yeah, based on the story of the same name by Hans Christian Andersen, Danish author. Cast?
Yes, I can go into cast.
Okay. Right, Ariel, Jodie Benson, who people will know is also the voice of Barbie in Toy Story and has a small role in Enchanted.
She is also, we were talking about this before. So in the film Flubber, have you seen that one?
Yeah. Years ago.
She's Weibo. You know the
Oh,
Yeah, his personal assistant.
robot. Yeah.
no way.
She,
Oh my God, that's so cool.
she's also, and it's kind of linked to Disney. She is Thumbelina in Don Bluth's Thumbelina.
Oh my God, I love Thumbelina. I've actually done a Don Bluth episode with my sister.
Love it.
He was an animator for Disney before he went and made his own films, so we did that
Okay.
episode on him. Yeah.
She is also the Hercules TV series. She had a recurring role as Helen of Troy.
Oh, okay.
She plays Anita in 101 Dalmatians 2, Patch's London Adventure. She is also Lady in Lady and the Tramp 2, Scout's Adventure.
Ah,
I feel like she was just put in a booth and it was like, right, we've got this role and this role and this.
yeah.
Do you want to do them? We'll pay you.
You know, I've never, the majority of Disney films, I've not watched the sequels of, which is why when there was a question in another podcast about what I prefer between the two, I said, yeah, I don't tend to watch sequels.
I have tried to watch the 2 sequels to The Little Mermaid, and I can't. I just can't get through the second.
Yeah.
Struggle. I'm the type of person. Like one of my favorite sequels is Cinderella 3.
Okay, very niche. Love
So
it.
you would have thought that I'd been able to watch
The Little Mermaid one.
but no, I'm
I
sorry.
used to like the series.
The series was good.
Yeah, the TV series in the 90s. And I had the videos as well.
Yeah.
There he was.
Yeah.
I had the tape and the magazine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She also voices Vanessa.
Oh,
in this
yes.
film. And I have a little thing where I thought this was amazing, so I wrote it down. It's a little bit off topic, but a little bit in topic. She was made a Disney legend in August 2011, along with Paige O'Hara, who's Belle,
yeah,
Linda Larkin,
that Jasmine,
yeah, Leah Salonga,
Mulan,
and Jasmine,
the voice of the singing voice,
yeah,
and Anika Noni Rose.
Oh, Tiana.
And they all were made Disney legends on the same day.
Oh, that's good.
I didn't know that they were made on the same day. That's really cool.
I really like.
I love that.
Really
yeah,
like.
Amazing.
Good one.
I have some facts about Ariel as well. If you want me to do character and
yeah, go for it.
Okay. So one of the people that I like is Ron Miller. So Ron Miller was Walt Disney's son-in-law. He was in charge of the company for a while, but was ousted in the early 80s. He set up Touchstone, which we would know from Roger Rabbit. We'd also know their first film, which is Splash, which is about a mermaid.
Yeah.
The original Ariel was blonde, but because Splash was so successful, Disney were worried that audiences would confuse a live-action blonde mermaid with a mermaid. So they changed her hair colour to red. And the green of her tail was specially made for Ariel. And can you guess what colour that shade of green is called?
Under the sea?
Ariel.
Oh!
Oh!
So that is why
wow.
the colour you only really see in on some kind of licensed products. The tail is a bit of a weird colour.
Okay.
Because Disney Animation owned the copyright to
that colour.
That colour.
Yes.
Wow.
This can be trademarked and copyrighted.
I didn't know that.
There is a shade of black that cannot be used.
Oh, God.
Make sure I never use that colour in my thumbnails.
Yeah. Elsewhere, Ariel was basically she's the first Disney princess to lead a film since Walt passed away. So they returned back to the fairy tale. And also a comedian called Sherry Stoner modelled for the animation.
Okay.
And Sherry Stoner also modelled for Belle in Beauty and the Beast. And there's another connection, because we found this out, that Jodie Benson was considered for the role of Belle as well. and
Oh,
she actually got round to voicing the character in House of Mouse.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Oh,
very cool.
yeah.
I don't think I have anyone.
Okay. So
You-
we'll move on
You may
to-
move on.
We'll move on to Prince
Oh, the Prince.
Eric. Voiced by Christopher Daniel Barnes, and he was Greg Brady from the Brady Bunch. I wrote that down. And he was 16 years old when he voiced Eric.
Wow,
I know,
young. Yeah.
very young.
Well, the original actor who was invited to play didn't sound young enough.
Oh,
Yes, whereas Jodie Benson did, and they could have.
Yeah.
right, okay.
So they went for a younger gentleman. You may, I mean, you've not seen the sequels, Sam. So he is Prince Charming in Cinderella 2 and 3. I do recommend Cinderella 3.
So I'll have to get through the second one to be able to get to the third one, or can I just go straight jump to the third?
Just watch the third.
Okay.
The music's
All
just
right.
nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You may recognise it. Did you ever watch the animated series of Spider-Man from the 90s?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Did you?
I did.
He's Spider-Man.
Oh,
Prince
Really?
Prince
Eric.
Eric is the guy voicing. Oh wow.
Yes.
that is on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Because
So
my youngest is in Spider-Man, so I've had to.
Yeah.
That's really cool, and I bet not a lot of people knew that. I did. I definitely didn't. But yeah.
do try and find
Yeah, you
facts
do.
that people don't know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Just on Eric, he speaks the first non-musical line in the film.
Okay. Is that on the boat?
Yeah, I did write down what he said because it's a bit.
Okay.
But just the first non-musical
Uh-huh.
line.
Hmm. Was that all your Eric?
That's all my
Yeah.
Eric.
Okay. Right. Ursula,
Mhm.
voiced by Pat Carroll, and she voiced Ursula right up till when she died in 2022.
So Ursula went through a multitude of different actresses. The original was Bea Arthur from the Golden Girls. Yeah, like.
She would have been good.
However, her agent said no.
Oh.
Oh.
Roseanne Barr was considered.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
An actress called Nancy Merchant, who I don't know of.
No,
I don't know
know.
of. And a Broadway star, Elaine Stritch. Now, she had the part. So she even went in and recorded lines and songs. But now, I think she's passed away now, so we're allowed to say this. But she was an alcoholic.
Okay.
And she had
Right.
accidents with Howard Ashman. And
Oh god.
basically, her attitude, her behaviour, and the argument clash meant that she was removed from the project.
Mm-hmm.
So bear in mind, she'd already been in and done the lines. They were that far in. And Pat Carroll had interviewed and done an audition for the role way back.
Yeah.
When she had forgotten that she'd even done the audition. Heard that people like Elaine Stritch and Roseanne Barr, and then had heard people like Jodie Benson, who was a Broadway person, were involved, and she's like, "Oh, I'm never getting that." Moved on, forgot, got the phone call, and was asked, "Would you like to come and be Ursula?" And she's like, "Who?"
Oh god.
So she was brought in, and she was so happy to be part of this legend that is a Disney film.
Yeah.
That she was quite malleable. She was happy to go like whatever Howard Ashman said.
Yeah.
And basically she there's footage online that you can see where she's doing things, and basically Howard Ashman sent her a recording of him doing Poor Unfortunate Souls because her anxiety about not being a good singer or a good enough performer got the better of her, and she was almost going to turn it down. He sent her a copy of that song, and she went, "I am doing it, and I am doing it that way."
Yeah.
And when you see her record things, you'll see like Howard Ashman saying certain lines, like when he goes, "In it," she does it that way.
Right.
It was just this to her was what she wanted to do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So
Yeah.
I have some facts about Ursula as well.
Go for it.
So did you know she's the only female villain from the Renaissance?
Ursula.
Uh,
So she is.
yes.
Do you know what? Yeah, I didn't know that, but I guess yeah.
She's
Makes
also
sense.
the only female villain of the 1980s.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because Rescuers was 79.
Yes.
Yeah.
So either side, I believe the two villains either side were Madame Medusa from The Rescuers and Zima from Empress and
Empress
Groove.
and Groove. Wow.
Some of the actions were based on a drag queen called Divine. For anyone who wants to know about Divine, she does actually have hit singles, which she's not a singer, but she has hit singles.
Yeah. Well, but RuPaul's not a singer.
Yeah. And unfortunately, auto-tune isn't around at that point. No. But it's part of the thing. So,
it's part of her act.
Yeah.
Performance, yeah.
She did a film. Have you ever seen the Hairspray musical?
The film version or just the live version?
The film.
Yeah, I've seen Hairspray, yeah.
Yeah, so it was obviously based on that original 1988 film.
Mm-hmm.
Divine is the mum
on the original
film, which was played by John Waters.
Yes, that's him with
the very thin moustache.
The thin moustache.
Yeah.
Who also worked on Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, I was going to say Little Shop of Horrors, which Howard Ashman.
Which was written by
Howard Ashman.
Howard Ashman,
which we'll get to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ursula was not meant to be an octopus. She was a multitude of different creatures.
Mm-hmm.
However, they watched a documentary about octopus and invertebrate and all living under the sea, and they were like, that is the character we want to make.
Mm-hmm.
However, when they started designing her and animating her, due to budget and difficulty reasons, she only has 6 tentacles.
Yeah, so she's
she's not an octopus. No. Now this is where it goes from. So if you include her arms, she does have 8 limbs, so she is an octopus.
Okay, yeah.
However, Pat Carroll has actually said she is not an octopus. She is a squid.
Yeah.
However, a squid has 10 tentacles, so even less of a squid.
Oh God. Okay.
She's a species of her own.
She is.
Yeah, I'd include the arms.
Yeah. She's a.
Yeah, we'll include the arms.
However, just to go even further on the contrary, when Ursula is killed, you see a skeleton outline.
Oh yeah, you do.
Which octopuses don't have because they're.
Yeah.
So she is a creature of her own. You were right.
Yeah, she's her own category of.
Yeah, she's
everything. Species, villains.
Pat Carroll actually said that she had to deepen her voice to be Ursula. However, if you've ever heard her speak, she's not deepened it that much. And she decided the character, her way and the way she was going to do the voice was a mix of a Shakespearean actress with the flair of a used car salesman.
Oh, that's how she described it.
That is how she described it. Howard Ashman, when he first started creating the character, based it a little bit on Alexis Carrington.
Oh, from
Dynasty. And guess who they asked to play her at this time?
What's her name? Joan Collins.
Yeah. And Joan Collins' agent felt that she would be offended being asked to play a witch. However, she has stated she would have jumped at the part to play.
Aww.
Why do they listen to their agents?
I know, who listens to
like, I know they get paid.
Yeah.
No. I'd both be Arthur and Joan Collins agents that said, oh no, you don't want to do that.
I'm not doing that one. And it's Ursula.
Oh. Okay.
You may move on.
Okay. I've gone with Scuttle.
Okay.
simply because of the actor
Yeah.
that plays him, called Buddy Hackett.
Mhm.
And he was on, well, originally the Lucy show, you know, I Love Lucy, yeah. So he was on that.
Mhm.
The Love Boat and Murder, She Wrote. I mean,
The Love
it's not, I
Boat or the Love Bug?
think both. I just put
Yeah,
the Love
no,
Boat.
he's Tennessee.
Yeah, but I put the Love Boat because I thought, well,
You might know.
you might have watched the Love Boat.
Considered for the role of Scuttle are
Oh,
Stephen Fry,
Oh.
Mickey Rooney,
oh,
Mhm.
Ron Moody, John Cleese,
oh.
Eric Idle, Michael Palin, Terry Gilliam,
So basically, Monty
Monty
Python.
Python, Rowan Atkinson, who go on for Zazu,
Yeah.
Zazu, yeah.
Danny DeVito
Oh no.
from Hercules. That's not him. That's something
Yeah,
else. Yeah,
well,
it's
it
him.
is. It's Philip
Phil.
Titties, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cheech Marin, who
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember.
Tito
Tito
from Oliver Company.
Yeah, and Pat Buttram,
Oh,
who we know as the Sheriff of Nottingham
Yeah.
in
Mhm.
Robin Hood.
yeah, and he's one of the dogs in Aristocats.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Sterling Holloway, Mr. Winnie the Pooh himself.
Oh,
Wow.
Pat Butchum, maybe I could see, but otherwise,
Yeah.
but it had to be Buddy Hackett.
Yeah, that voice is just that
Yeah.
voice. I think Ron Moody would have been fun
Who
because
is that?
he's the Irish jailer in Joker 2, but he's also, if you're a Harry Potter fan, Mad-Eye Moody.
That's Gleason.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's not wrong. Well,
then I
but,
don't know who Ron
okay.
Moody is.
Yeah, no, that's a different actor.
Okay.
I think so.
Anyway.
Anyway, I watched a clip of Buddy Hackett on Disney Plus because after I watched it,
Mhm.
there was like this 15-minute. It's not the DVD special features, but
Yeah.
and it's a clip of Buddy Hackett in the sound booth, and he's really nervous. And in an interview,
Oh.
he says, "I would have been fine if I didn't have people watching that." He didn't like
Right.
directors being in
Everybody's looking at him. Yeah.
and it took him a few goes to feel comfortable to, because he obviously had never done a voice part before.
No.
And I have heard other actors in their interviews when they've done their first voice role,
Yeah.
and how they found it weird in a booth and there's like 3 or 4 people staring at them, and then they'll like
Yeah.
say, "Oh yeah, that was great, but could you try it like this way and that way?" And you have to do all these different, and obviously he wasn't used to that, so
I can't imagine how stressful that would be. So
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
yeah, unless you're comfortable like Robin Williams, where you're happy to just go in there,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
then
Yeah. If you're very experienced in that, especially, then you're good. But yeah, as a first timer, especially.
and he's old.
Difficult.
Like I think he passed not long after this as
Yeah.
well. So he was an older actor.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, right. Triton
Yes.
is voiced by Kenneth Mars, who is in Young Frankenstein, The
Mhm.
Producers, and What's Up, Doc? That's a Barbara Streisand film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
He's also Grandpa Longneck
In Land Before Time.
in Land Before Time.
Oh, love that film.
He's the grandpa.
Yeah.
Triton himself makes a cameo in Princess and the Frog. He's one of the floats in the
Yes, in
carnival.
Mardi Gras.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's also in Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Is he?
Yes, however, in the original TV series, the
Okay.
TV is has a statue. So, however, the episode was released 9 days after the release of The Little Mermaid.
Oh.
And Patrick Stewart was originally offered the role,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
turned it down.
Wow.
He then was offered a role in near enough every single film for the whole Renaissance period And because he had turned this down and he was doing Star Trek,
Yeah.
he had
Right.
turned others down, including Jafar.
Wow.
I don't know. I can't see him do it, but surely he does. He does eventually do a voice.
He's Chicken Little. He's in Chicken
Yeah,
Little. He's
yeah,
But Chicken Little, of all the films, let's be real, that he could have done, you know?
Could have been Jafar. He could have been Trunks.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
So,
Grimsby. So he is voiced by Ben Wright, who we've mentioned before, because he plays Roger in 100 Dalmatians. I got that right, didn't I?
Yeah.
And he's in The Sound of Music, which I did do a fact. I'm sure he plays a Nazi in The Sound of Music.
I don't like that film.
I can't remember what the fact was.
Wow.
Yeah. And there was like another connection as well with another actor in The Sound of Music. Have you watched Sound of Music?
Yeah, I've watched it a few times.
So him that they call an uncle that puts them into the music festival.
Okay. I vaguely remember the face.
Yeah, he's got a little moustache.
Yeah.
He's a voice.
That's a hiss.
For
No,
Grimsby.
no, it's not Sir Harris, but he does a Disney voice as well.
Okay.
But yeah, and in the Jungle Book, he does a voice in the Jungle Book.
So Ben Wright, just Grimsby, you mentioned he was Roger in 101 Dalmatians. At the time of recording The Little Mermaid, no one knew he was the voice of Roger. He just mentioned it one day.
No way.
Yeah.
Casually.
You just thought that would have been like on file.
Yeah, no. Really, a sad thing, he died 4 months before The Little Mermaid was released. So we never got to see how amazing this film kind of was.
Yeah, that's a shame.
It obviously made
and how loved it has become as well,
Yeah. And a fun fact, in the musical version, the original musical version, it is played by Jonathan Freeman. Now, does that name ring a bell to anyone?
Yes.
So if I give you a hint of Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Jonathan,
is he Star Trek?
No.
Oh. No, I don't know.
He's Jafar.
Oh!
Oh!
Right, okay.
So, yeah.
Right, well, I found my Sound of Music fact about
Okay.
Right, so, he was Roger's speaking voice, and he is Nazi Gauleiter Higher Air Zeller.
Okay.
Roger's singing voice was played by Bill Lee, who provided the singing voice to Captain Von Trapp. That was the connection.
That was, there's a link. There's a link there.
You know when it's just there. It's like,
yeah.
That's it for me on Grimsby. Yeah.
Right, my last cast member I've got down is Sebastian.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've got two more as well.
Okay. Who's played by Samuel E. Wright. And he goes on to play Crone in the dinosaur film. But he passed away in 2021.
So the character of Sebastian was originally going to be quite posh and British.
Yes.
And he was going to be called Clarence.
Oh God.
But Alan changed this, and he added the Calypso in, which we'll get a little bit later. But Samuel E. Wright was also the original Mufasa in the original Broadway of The Lion King.
Oh my God!
Oh, that's amazing. That's a really cool fact.
Yeah, I wrote he was Trinidadian.
Yeah.
So he's not Jamaican, he's from Trinidad and Tobago.
I've also got a little fact about Flopsam and Jepsam.
Okay.
Who is, both of them are voiced by a lady called Paddy Edwards, who also goes on to play one of the Fates in Hercules, Atropos. I believe they're the ones that share the eyeball.
Yeah, and they have
She plays one of those. Flounder is played by Jason Marin. Originally, Flounder was going to be a dolphin, and actually in the under the sea section, there is a dolphin.
Mhm.
That is
One of the original artworks for him initially. Right. That's
when
cool.
when Flounder's angry or scared, his eyes turn red.
Oh, that's true.
In the TV series, he is voiced by someone called Eden Gross, and Eden Gross voices the good guy doll in the Chucky films. So he's not Chucky, he's the hi, I'm your friend till the end. That's Flounder in the TV series.
Oh, okay.
Marin goes on to, in the film, Jason Marin goes on to voice has already played Herman Peabody in Back to the Future. I think he's one of the geeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And just a fact about Flounder is a type of fish, but Flounder is not a flounder.
Oh, right, okay. So that's not what a flounder looks like.
No. He's more on the lines
Funny.
of, to be honest with you.
Mm.
His nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, there are my
Cast facts.
Yeah.
Music?
Yes, music.
Yeah. Right, so I
Music.
split my facts, so I've just got my music facts separate from everything else. Yeah.
Pick a song. Pick a song, Sam. Pick a song.
Right, so this is when the singing's going to come in.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Right, so the intro song, which I'm not going to sing, to be fair,
Thank God.
is Fathoms Below.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then you've got Daughters of Triton, which is obviously when we're introduced to all the sisters.
Yeah,
We
we love our sisters.
Then we have Part of Your World.
Beautiful. Honestly, that was
that
actually really good.
was my Olaf impression. Under the Sea is the next one.
Classic.
Poor Unfortunate Souls.
Oh, it goes on.
Les Poissons, which is sung by Louis, the chef. Kiss the Girl. And then there's a happy ending and Vanessa's song that she sings in the mirror. All written by Alan Menken and Howard Ashman.
So to go through, because I've just wrote down 2 facts about the majority of those songs.
Go for it.
So Part of Your World, which I'm not going to sing. So in the film, name a character that sings Part of Your World.
Ariel.
And?
Don't know.
How does it guess?
What sings?
Yeah.
It is just Ariel. No, there must be somebody else.
It's Vanessa.
Does she sing?
Yes.
Does she sing it? Where?
You know that where you've just said,
yeah,
like part of my ultimate design.
Yeah.
It's leads into part of your world.
Oh, okay.
Originally, the lyrics would name the items more specifically.
Okay.
So whose is and what's it. So it would be like things and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
But they felt that because Scuttle had already explained what these items are,
yeah,
that would be overkill.
Yeah.
Such a clever change. I mean, who's it and what's it has become such a classic in Disney terminology. I bet they never thought it would be, but yeah.
No.
I don't think accurate descriptions of things would have had that much of an effect.
No, I think it had just gone.
Yeah.
It had been like a bit of a bippity boppity boo kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
And Jodie Benson, when performing this song, recording it, recorded it in the dark because she wanted the feel of being underwater.
Yeah.
So that's Your World.
I've got another fact about Part of Your World. Right, so it was nearly cut.
Wow. Okay, I did not know that.
Katzenberg, we have feelings about this man.
Okay.
He felt that it was boring, as well as being too far over children's heads. At a test screening, children were restless during the song, which did not have finished animation. John Musker, Ron Clements, and Howard Ashman all begged Katzenberger to keep it in, but it was Glenn Keane, the animator, that managed to convince him to do another screening, this time with adults.
Interesting.
And then it was a much better success. And apparently Katzenberg later said he was glad no one listened to him and can't imagine the film without song.
And popcorn was not allowed at that second screening.
Oh.
Because during the song Part of Your World, a child dropped popcorn everywhere, which started the commotion.
Which started the distraction.
Kiss the Girl. I've only got one fact about this.
Okay.
The backgrounds behind the tree and everything are used from the Rescuers.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
Yeah, you know what? I've not noticed that, but I found this fact out before rewatching the film, and I was looking at it, and it's the Bayou kind of. Yes.
Okay. Under the Sea. So Under the Sea and Kiss the Girl are the two songs that were nominated for an Academy Award, and it was Under the Sea that won. What's the... Oh yeah, and Ariel was supposed to have another song called One Dance, but apparently it wasn't strong enough, so it was...
Yeah. Would it have been about him wanting to have one dance with Eric or something, maybe?
Possibly.
Like wishfully thinking of that? Probably.
Yeah, and as well, like I couldn't find if it's in the musical.
Yeah.
They did do the musical in 2007, and I believe it's on one of the ships.
Okay.
Or is going to be on one of the ships.
Yeah.
Whether it was then put in there, I don't know.
So Under the Sea is based on Beautiful Briny Sea from Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Oh, okay.
That's the film.
Wow. Fair.
At least 12 different types of fish are mentioned throughout the song.
Okay.
And the dolphin's name that was originally is Breaker. However, this song is one of the few songs from the films that is present, and this is for you, Sam, is every Disney park, including every cruise line.
Wow. Song.
Yes.
Under the Sea.
Every park.
Wow.
So it's not like Florida as a whole, it's
in every single park. Wow.
Yeah.
So you'll always hear that song in every park.
It's on every single
Probably because it won the Academy Award.
Most likely, and it fits.
So catchy and so
I mean, God, if anyone mentions anything to do with, and you can't help but say Under the Sea.
Yeah.
You can't help it.
I think even like non-Disney fans would recognize that as a Disney thing, as a Disney song, and maybe even like it, despite not wanting to admit it. That's so cool to... I'm trying to think like where it's heard in Animal Kingdom and some of the like parks that don't have that magical vibe, but I'm sure it is somewhere. In Tokyo Disney, it's in both parks.
Do you know what? I didn't write them down, but
but I love that fact. Yeah.
I think,
and I'm not surprised by it either.
No, I mean, what surprised me more is there isn't more songs that are in park, but this is one of a few from a Disney animated film, obviously.
Did you have any more facts about the songs?
Yes, Poor Unfortunate Souls.
Go for it.
So Pat Carroll couldn't sing the song in one go.
Oh,
okay.
So she is a performer, but she's not a singer performer. So in certain bits, and especially the rap towards the end, which is considered a rap, but it's not. It's the spell.
Yeah.
So she had to sing it in parts, and it was edited together. So she has sung that song in full in one go.
Wow. The way that they've edited it, you would think that she had sang it all in one.
Her song, this wasn't her original song. Her original song was going to be called Silence is Golden.
Oh.
Which obviously it's the voice things. It's like so. And there's a hidden Mickey.
Okay.
So the contract, the top few words makes sense, and the bottom few words do as well. But in between, it's just made up words, random things, squiggles and whatnot, and a Mickey Mouse head.
I'm going to pause it now. I'm going to put it on
really
and I'm going to pause. You have to be quick.
You do have to.
Right. Oh.
It's my cat scratching. So yes, that is my last fact about the songs, I believe. Yes.
Okay. I have a few about the writers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So they worked alongside the directors throughout the whole storyboarding process in order to make the songs more organic to the film. Howard Ashman became a producer of the film due to his contributions to the story, and there's 3 big parts in particular that he wrote. It's in all of them, funny enough, involves Sebastian. One of them is the ending with Triton and Sebastian before Triton says, "Oh, how much I'm going to miss her," and then makes her into a human. That's one of them.
I have a fact about that. Let me try and find it.
I think one of them is also to do with Kiss the Girl scene, maybe, or Under the Sea.
I'm not sure. I struggled to get through the Howard Ashman thing because it's so upsetting, that documentary.
Yeah.
So I struggled with that.
The one on Disney Plus.
Did contribute.
I have watched it, but I watched it a couple of years ago.
Yeah. He did contribute a lot to the story. And I mean, obviously, as well, he had a big part in making Sebastian Caribbean as well. There is a clip, and I'm sure it's in that documentary, of him explaining to the animators how he wants a particular scene done, and he describes Sebastian as, and he does version of an accent. So yeah.
Found my fact about that.
Right.
So you know at the end where Sebastian goes, "Teen," I won't do the accent.
Okay.
I was about to, but I went, "Teen, they think they know everything. Give them an inch and they swim all over you." Was ad-libbed by Samuel Lee Wright. So it's just said, and it's an amalgamation of 2 sayings.
Okay.
As in, you give them an inch, they take a mile, or don't let them swim all over you.
Right. Okay. Oh, very clever.
Yes.
We did mention earlier about Alan Menken and Howard Ashman knowing who was it that brought them in? It was Captain Bird, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He'd been to see Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
And Jodie Benson had been on Broadway on a musical, Smile.
Yes.
Which Howard Ashman had been involved in.
It was Broadway.
Yeah.
You might know more about this. Bring him in and ask him.
And Howard Ashman wrote a song in Oliver and Company. I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
Once Upon a Time in New York
That's
City.
it.
Yeah.
So he'd started to have a relationship with company.
From the point that Alan Menken and Howard Ashman joined this film, Disney stopped making films with music and start making musicals.
Yeah.
And it is because
of
them two coming in and the way they do it, and the fact that Alan Menken's music, there's that waves that is
beautiful.
Well, it's throughout the film. He does it in Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, so he does the score.
He's very good at repeating those where he probably wouldn't have got that in the past.
Yeah. I will. It is very sad, but I will mention that it was after they won the Academy Award that Howard Ashman did tell Menken that he had AIDS.
Yeah.
And if I remember rightly, the way Alan describes the conversation, he says, I need to tell you something. And Alan says, what is it? And he says, well, you know. And Alan's like, well, I don't know. And he says, yeah, come on, you know, you must know. And he's like, I know. And he says, well, I have AIDS. And it was, he was only 40.
Yeah.
Yeah. And well, I mean, we briefly talked about it because we've already recorded the Beauty and the Beast episodes, and that was a bit. I can't sometimes think about it because I.
Yeah, but as I say, I'm
really upset.
I'm not an emotional person.
No, neither am I. Like, you couldn't get any less than us. It takes a lot to us cry.
Yeah.
Right.
But I must admit that documentary got me.
Yeah.
When things get me, I tend to be got. I can go through a lot of things.
It's the way as well that Dawn Hahn speaks about have you watched the Waking Sleeping Beauty documentary?
No, I don't think so. Waking Sleeping Beauty?
Yeah, you need to watch that.
Okay.
So that is from, it starts when they're in the middle of making the Black Cauldron.
Okay.
And it goes up to the Lion King. So it's about 10 years. So 1984 to 1994. And it's Dawn Hahn that narrates the documentary. And it's old footage from the animators. And like John Lasseter's in it. Glenn Keane, Tim Burton, like Tim Burton.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
He looks like a 12-year-old teenager that just there he is. It's so funny. But yeah, and he talks really highly of Howard Ashman in that documentary. Yeah. And he goes on, I'm not going to say, but he goes on to talk about what happens with Beauty and the Beast. You should definitely watch it. It's on Disney.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I watch that all the time. Like, if I can't think of what to watch,
really? That good? Okay. It's on my to-watch list.
I learned something new.
Yeah.
You know, and it's an exciting time because so much happens in that
time frame.
I've got a question.
Okay.
Go for it.
I've got loads of questions. So when was The Little Mermaid developed first by the Walt Disney Company?
I'm guessing this is a trick question. And perhaps years before. Like, could it be like 2 decades before it actually was released and then they kind of put it aside, the idea?
Are you thinking like 60s, maybe the 70s?
This is kind of what I'm going for.
Yeah, what about you?
Well, I've got this fact written down.
You've got the fact.
I love it. Okay. Tell me, please.
Walt's team in the 1930s went out.
Wow.
Went out looking for stories to develop into if Snow White was going to be a success.
So
fair. 1937. They came across the work of Hans Christian Andersen, which we know, and they did produce some cartoon shorts. So we have The Ugly Duckling, and we have King Triton. And they completed concept art, and then what they did was put it in a cupboard. And the same thing happened with another Hans Christian Andersen film. Did you get that?
No.
So there's another Hans Christian Andersen story, which was the concept was done in the 1930s. They then revisited the concept.
I know what you're going to say.
For a potential ride.
Right, okay.
At Disney that never came to pass. It stayed in the cupboard. Mark Davis did the designs and everything. And it appeared as a film later on. I'll put it through to Sam. Can you think of what this film, Hans Christian Andersen, it's another princess. It was put in the cupboard for...
years.
We're talking about 50, 60 years.
Is this The Princess and the Frog?
No, later.
No. Are you talking about the Ice Queen, like Frozen? Really?
Yeah.
Fair. So they had the idea for years as well for that.
They did, and what was amazing about
such popular ones as well that have go. Sorry, I'm loving this.
so the ugly duckling is linked again as the pub, the bar, the inn in Tangled.
Yes. Yeah.
So again, has a link there. When it went through the Gong Show, like Jamie said, no one knew about this until they had a look to see who actually owned the rights to
These things, right?
film, and they discovered it was the Disney company.
So they'd already purchased the rights all those years ago.
They'd got the rights to make a film,
Right.
rights to, because obviously with copyright laws and things like that, things go out, and
Yeah.
but they were looking to make sure that no
Yeah.
one purchased any similar rights or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It turned out that someone did, and it was like, who's that? Oh, it's us.
I think what we take out of this is that sometimes it's good to put things in the cupboards and revisit them in the future, and then who knows what could happen out from them.
Weirdly,
oh god,
the actual stories themselves, apart from the ending, were very, very similar.
Yeah.
Including Ariel having red hair. They wouldn't have had if Splash hadn't come out earlier. The original film, and the reason why it was put in the cupboard, was because they took the original story in which the prince marries a princess who is the evil princess, not Ursula.
Yeah.
Although Ursula is a bit villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because the mermaid can't, basically she like does it's almost like selling her soul, like she kind of does the Little Mermaid. She melts, and she melts into foam. So you know when you go to the
wicked.
and there's like foam, which is seaweed. That is apparently mermaids who didn't get their wish.
Oh
my god.
And Walt couldn't make that into a happy ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was shelved. But we did get Peter Pan, Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
It's funny that they were doing films that were not princess focused, or like they didn't have a female lead. Like I guess Alice in Wonderland kind of, but yeah. Interesting.
Well, I have a fact about when it premiered in Denmark, continuing with the Hans Christian Andersen, Danish were so annoyed.
Mortified.
Of course.
It did not keep it to the original.
Original,
so obviously it didn't sit well with the Danish. However, their queen, Marguerite, I believe her name is.
Okay.
Marguerite. She claimed, Queen Marguerite, she claimed that Andersen didn't know how to end his stories anyway. That The Little Mermaid is one of those tales that metaphors Andersen's experiences with unrequited love, hence the mermaid's tragic fate in the original story, which obviously Did you mention that earlier?
Yeah.
You did,
Just now, before you started talking. The phone.
No, about his unrequited love.
Yeah. The mermaids don't get their wish.
No, I mean about himself.
Oh, yes.
So not particularly about love, I don't think.
So this is... It draws back, actually, because I seen you at Pride at Disneyland Paris. I was hiding behind you. No, you were filming outside the art on in Disney Village. So
right.
And so basically, Hans Christian Andersen is considered bisexual. That's why I brought it to Pride. He wrote. So he was in love with this other guy who, and he basically came and said, "Look, I am in love with you," and he wrote him a poem, things like that. And this guy said, "No, I'm sorry, no, I'm marrying this woman." And as part of it, Hans Christian Andersen wrote The Little Mermaid about unrequited love, and he is the mermaid.
Oh.
and obviously he goes off and marries a prince.
Yeah.
And I think actually although he doesn't marry a princess, I think he marries a woman of nobility.
Okay.
Real life did this. Linking back to Walt again. So the animation techniques that we used in this film look backwards and forwards at the same time.
Okay.
So they wanted to reuse animation in the same way that they reused animation in Robin Hood.
Okay.
But because it was set underwater, couldn't.
Yeah.
Because they don't swim.
No.
Which is why they brought in live action models, like I mentioned. When you compare, bear in mind at this point, animation had been moved off the Disney lot. They're in like some kind of warehousey kind of place.
Yeah.
When they did the live action for Cinderella and for Alice in Wonderland and all of those, it was a stage. They recorded it, and it was, there was actual props and everything. For part of this world, Sherry, who was the live action singer model, was put on a swivel chair. Someone was stood on a table filming her.
Oh God.
One basically just grabbed the chair and turned her.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, wow.
In a boat.
Yeah.
Basically the same table.
Yeah. That's brilliant.
And did they twirl the table?
They moved the camera.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they moved the camera. Twirled the chair, moved the camera.
Right.
As to the point where they utilize this technique of a model, Ariel first meets Eric in her human form, and she grabs her hair and she does that. She pushes it. That's what the actress does.
Oh, okay.
She does that, including the strand of hair that goes down her, and she bunches it and it moves.
Shows how amazing the animators are as well, to be able to,
literally copied all of that.
Recreate that.
They went looking for a device called the multiplane camera. Don't know if you were aware of what that was.
Yeah.
So to get depth and so they went looking for this, and they couldn't find it. And they began work on it already, and someone did find it, but it was just beyond.
Yeah, it wasn't in a good. Hadn't been looked after.
No. They then looked at computer-generated backgrounds. So this is part of Basil the Mouse.
The cats. Yeah.
And where it looked forward is this film, and I wish I'd written the details down in more detail. But basically, Disney had to hire animators from other companies across the world to animate Bubbles.
Right.
And
there's so many Bubbles as well.
There is something, I can't remember the actual number, but it's something like 75,000.
Oh my God.
Film, and they were all animated by hand.
Yeah, hand drawn, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's the last animated film to use cells. Yeah, use the hand painted cells. It's the last one.
Okay.
And I think I wrote down how many. 1,000 different colours were used on 1,100 backgrounds. Over 1 million drawings were done in total,
which are replicated and are hanging in the Art of Animation
hotel.
Oh.
In Florida?
Yeah. And
cool.
I don't know how many are, but some of them are signed by Jodie Benson.
Oh, wow.
She opened the hotel.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she was there. There's a clip. Go onto YouTube and have a look.
Right,
There's a clip of her. She's signed. And keep an eye out for that.
Right, okay.
For that cell.
That's amazing. That's really cool.
We know, obviously, Beauty and the Beast gets nominated for, Best Picture Oscar and all that. But this was the first to be nominated.
For anything?
As for Best Picture.
Yeah. Okay.
Albeit it didn't win, but it's the first animated film to be nominated, and it was for the Golden Globe.
And really put Disney on the map with it.
Following year, it's Beauty and the Beast. and it
Mm.
wins the Golden Globe.
Quite rightly, I think.
Yeah.
I agree. I was going to say, technically, Beauty and the Beast is the better of the, and it's a fantastic Disney film. One of the best. Even if I put my favorites aside, because I prefer things like Pocahontas and Hunchback of Notre Dame, I think Beauty and the Beast has everything: amazing sidekicks, amazing protagonists, fun villain, like everything you would want from a Disney film or any film. You have it in Beauty and the Beast. So yeah, I get why.
And that's kind of how I feel with Black Cauldron and Robin Hood.
Mm.
They are my favourites, but
Mm-hmm.
In the Beast is the best Disney film, and it's my
Yeah,
favorite.
Yeah.
So I have some hidden Mickeys.
Go for it.
Mm.
Oh, Ariel. So I've grouped them around. So these are all like Ariel appearing in other things.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So in the Aladdin TV series, the genie takes on the form of Ariel.
Okay.
In the Goofy movie, one of the props at in the show that they're doing is Ariel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She is also a silhouette on a lamp in the hotel.
In
Okay.
the Goofy movie.
In the Goofy movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
In the Aladdin TV series, Jasmine has her hair restyled in one of the episodes, and in one of the episodes, it's done as Ariel's.
Okay.
She makes a comment about the hairstyle looking a bit fishy. In Aladdin 3, she is a cameo poster.
Okay.
Okay.
And she also appears on a book cover in the film Tangled.
Mm.
Is in the House of Mouse, along with near enough every single character in this film.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Flounder is also in the Hercules TV series. He is also a piggy bank in Cassie's room in the first Ant-Man.
Okay.
So you know at the end is where
I think I watched that film once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have you seen it, Sam, Ant-Man?
I've again not enough to know exactly where or how.
Okay, I'll go to a more popular one. Then.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Moana.
My Marvel knowledge
It's
is
one of the
awful.
tablecloth fish in the song You're Welcome.
Okay.
And he is also one of the bootleg characters in the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers film.
Okay.
That's fun.
Which near enough every single character in this film is bootleg. Sebastian in Aladdin.
Oh yeah, he opens and his finger it claps on. Yeah. Pinches finger and he. Well, what does he say again?
It's because it's a recipe and he's like crab thingy.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what he says. However, when he kind of does that,
Mm-hmm.
the Under the Sea plays.
Yes, it does. It does that. Yeah.
All the characters appear in things like Once Upon a Time and the Descendants film.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have many character meet and greets, including a Sebastian.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
I've seen these on YouTube.
Yes.
Does he look interesting? Does he look funny? Does he look weird, Sebastian?
No,
he
looks good.
He does look good.
Okay,
yeah.
I have to Google that. I can't imagine it.
He can't sign autographs.
Yeah, fair. Like I'll allow that.
Like Louis, because he has these really long arms, and he's like but King Louis. But
yeah.
This is usually the point where I talk about VHS and things.
Uh-huh.
So around the time of the VHS, it was released in May 1990, which is my birth month.
Ooh!
Oh.
It was the top-selling title of May 1990.
Mm-hmm.
Also the top-selling VHS of 1990.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the quickest and best-selling releases on its re-release in the 1990s.
Mm-hmm.
However, on that first VHS, it was recalled because in America, not in the UK, on the cover, I mean, I've seen this cover and I don't really get it, and as a man you would have, but one of the spirals on the castle behind Ariel is shaped like a man's Flotsam and Jetsam, shall we
Oh,
Unfortunately, it
oh God.
doesn't, and I think people just need to get a life.
Right, yeah. Yeah. People can find things and see things in everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one of the other things as well, and they had to state that is actually his knee, but in the wedding sequence between Eric and Vanessa, when the vicar kind of gets onto a stool and is doing it, his knees are bent.
Okay.
However, because that's not the style of animation that this film uses, it's from an old previous draft and like reused and whatnot. It also looks like this vicar is very happy to be at the wedding,
Oh.
and his Flotsam and Jetsam is also showing.
Oh my God.
It's and what's it?
Oh God.
That's hilarious.
They had to state that it's actually the animation, and they've shown concept artwork and things like that. And when you look at it, I'm sorry, it's a knee. I don't know what kind of weird people have weird things that look like spirals on castles, old vicars' knees, but I think they need to see a doctor of them. Multiple different types of doctors. First DVD release was 1999. One of the first DVD releases for Disney. It sold out, and it was one of the most anticipated releases when it was released. The DVD was a poor video transfer. When it was re-released with the 2-disc special edition. So if we ever had any DVDs, we would have had the special edition.
The better quality one.
Well, that sold out so quickly, and eBay was starting to become a thing. And the DVDs were selling to up to £300. So that's UK money. Like, this is not in America.
That's incredible.
I bought a DVD.
Oh my God.
And mine cost £14. I sold the same DVD for 200.
Incredible. I was gonna say,
because I will say it wasn't me. I wasn't scalping. I had watched it. I'd known that the Blu-ray was coming out. Wanted the Blu-ray.
Yeah, that's fair.
Put it online for £15 and eBay bidding.
And people bid. Yeah.
Oh my God. For a DVD.
Wow.
Just to put it into context, I sold my DVD when we worked at the Disney store, so I left there at 2012.
Yeah.
And the Blu-ray first came out in 2013.
Oh my God.
In Europe, Warner Brothers distributed the film.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So when it was on,
how come? Yeah.
It would have had Warner Brothers.
Why?
Because animation wasn't seen as a big thing.
So
why?
And possibly with them working together on Roger Rabbit, which is Warner Brothers, it must have.
Yeah, they just basically just put it out. They didn't expect this film to do well. So The Little Mermaid.
How wrong were they?
Well, one of the ironic things is the executives said, "Oh, we're expecting it to, fetch some money because we got a bit back with Basil and Oliver and Roger Rabbit. However, it's a girls' film. Boys' films do well. That's why Oliver and Company was so successful. It's not going to make nearly half of what Oliver and Company did. And it smashed it. Did over double the still."
And it was the beginning of a run of success.
Yeah, and it's actually, and it's just why you're here, that films such as The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin all have one element in common, story-wise. Do you know what that element is?
I was going to say Alan Menken, music-wise, but but story-wise,
The Princess.
No.
Oh, what films did you say?
Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin. They all have one thing in common.
That Howard Ashman was
story-wise.
Oh, story-wise.
They're romance stories.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh,
Disney
obviously.
decided that every single Disney film will only do well if it has romance involved.
Mm.
Now, it was too late to shoehorn much more into The Lion King because that was being produced. But there was a certain film, which is someone's favorite film, and they shoehorned a whole romance, and it became almost the main storyline of Pocahontas.
Right.
So the only
Yeah,
reason
because in
With the
that because Pocahontas and Lion King were made almost parallel.
very similar times, yeah.
And so many left Lion King thinking that Pocahontas was going to be the success.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they shoehorned the romance into it, and it's also why in Hunchback of Notre Dame there is romance. And I tell you about Mulan or Tarzan, because Tarzan is Tarzan and Jane. So, but yeah,
well, that has got romance in it.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it was because of that.
We've come a long way. Like when you think about the more recent Disney films, like
Yeah,
I'm trying to think. A lot of the Disney films do have a bit of romance. You know, even Frozen, even though it's about the love between the sisters, there does come a moment with Kristoff and everything. So there's a little bit of something going on.
I think they put fun at it in that film with her, falling in love with Hans.
Yeah.
With the piss take of,
like
Ariel does in this film. I mean,
exactly.
The rest of film, and all of a sudden, but Daddy, I love him. Hashtag Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I mean, usually once we've done with the VHS, we move on to our opinions.
Yes.
Anyway, so it's
this is the part of the show where we say, why we like and dislike the film. So, Sam,
hi.
Of that you're running joke in your vlogs. When was the last time you watched Little Mermaid? Can you remember?
The animation, it would have been before COVID, so 2019 maybe, or 2018, I want to say. There's a time frame in my life when I was watching a lot of the, similar to like you, I was trying to kind of watch all the Disney films from start to end and watch all of the old ones for the first time. Some of them I'd never seen, so it would have been a few years ago. It's definitely not my go-to favorite Disney film, but I do think it's a fantastic film, and I love the songs from it, and I love Ariel. No, I do. I think it's such a classic Disney film. It's got such amazing music, and it's hard not to enjoy at least some of it, even if it might not be my favorite Disney film. Like from start to end, it's not like a story that I love, but there are moments like the Under the Sea section. I would have watched that probably as recent as last week. Might have just kind of put it on to watch the video for it, to see the animation of that song, because it's so well done. And Ariel, we all know. I mean, you might not know. I have a long history with her, and it's a bit awkward because there's been times where I've met her in the parks and I've had to lie to her and say I love her. And I've been with friends who have pushed me to say that in an awkward way, and they know that I don't like her, and I know that, and then we've had like heart pictures together. I think Ariel is she's very young in the film, so I understand. But I think for a long time, I just thought she was, her decision making was a little bit questionable, and maybe not even the best thing for young people to watch and be like, oh wow, she's making great decisions. She's got this loving dad, a best friend in Flounder, a pretty decent life under the sea. I mean, they're happy, they sing with them. But I do understand the other side of it, which is like Ariel is about exploring and not necessarily allowing yourself to be within the space that you've always been told you need to be. Like you push boundaries if you think you have to always be, in a way similar to Belle's story, who wants to leave the town that she's in and explore more and see more of the world. There's a similar thing. Belle does it a little bit more normally. Well, I guess she has her things as well. But with Ariel just wanting to fully, I think, leave behind what she is as a mermaid, I think is a little bit sad to just be like, I want to be something else totally. But at the same time, what my viewers have told me, many of them who have a big passion for Ariel and love her, is that they admire her curiosity and her sense of wanting to explore, like I said, more things in the world and not feel like she has to be confined to what she thinks should be her life. So I get it. I do get the love for her. Um, and I think over the years I've come to appreciate her as well. And I think she's got I mean, she's Jodie Benson, so her voice, it's hard not to love a character who has such an amazing singing voice and sings some amazing songs like Part of the World, Part of Your World. So yeah, this is how I feel about the girl. I think it's got one of the best soundtracks
Oh yeah,
ever.
it's not a bad song.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, most of those songs, apart from Fathoms Below, I would have,
That's fair, yeah.
you know, when we're driving to Disneyland Paris, you know, they'll all pretty much be on there.
Yeah. Even like the instrumental bits are beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, that intro.
Yeah.
And I was like, when I was watching it the other day, getting ready for, I've noticed how they tried really hard to put an effect over to make you feel like you're under the sea. And I was thinking, do this through the whole film, but they don't. But in that show, you know, there's like a wave-ish effect, and the way that the title just shimmers in, and then obviously you see Triton's castle, and yeah, I mean,
the animation's beautiful as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I remember when I was 16, and when I look back, I am not the same person as I was when I was 16. And like, for example, this was the short version. When I was 16, turning 17, my parents decided to up and move to Spain.
Okay.
So at a very crucial point in my life, hated them. It was the worst decision ever. You know, how could they ruin my life? I was a boy. I had friends. I was going to marry that boy. You know,
yeah.
Think that what you have is, you know, not knowing that there's a big world out there, albeit Ariel does do it slightly opposite because she does it to see the world, which you know, I'm all for in that regard. But yeah, obviously, I think at the end of the day, it's just a film.
Do you know what I think is interesting? In the US, Ariel is huge in the US parks, and anytime I speak to a person from America, one of their top favorite films will be The Little Mermaid. And years ago, I tried to research this and see why they seem to love it so much over there, and it's because of the fact that so many people from the US don't get to leave their country because it's such a huge country. The US is big, and for them this idea of leaving the US or just leaving and seeing the world is so big, whereas for us we're lucky when you know when you live in the UK and Europe, it's not as difficult to go to another European country. For them, I think so many of them have that wish. Some of my own friends from the US who I met when I was at school would say that was one of the reasons they identified so much with Ariel. And I think that's also a fascinating subject because every country and culture and every place, every Disney park, their core audience seems to have a favorite character or a favorite film that they resonate with more than some others. And in the US, I've definitely noticed this 100% Ariel.
Yeah.
And The Little Mermaid, yeah.
I think because obviously, unlike us, although I know at one point it was almost like states, but for us, Europe is, you know, right on our doorstep. All different cultures, and
even the UK itself has so much, whereas for them it's like if they're in one state they kind of just are always in that state,
and all the states, they're technically the same,
very similar,
different values, but same-ish. You know, they all speak the same language, sort of similar in a way. I know that's generalizing it, but in comparison to us in Europe, they probably, I can see why, you know, I can, definitely. What about you, Stephen?
So this film came out before I was born.
Only just.
Just a few months.
7 months.
I'd have been around for the VHS.
Yeah.
Just literally, it may have come out on the 11th of May because that was a Friday when videos. Yeah. But basically, this film. So I have this relationship with this film where it is one of my favorites. I wouldn't necessarily choose to put this on over the likes of Beauty and the Beast. But then I'm like that with The Lion King. I wouldn't choose to put on The Lion King.
But if it's on, you'll
But I
watch
love
it.
The Lion King.
Yeah.
And so I can't actually say that I dislike any of it. My point isn't so much about, because obviously I'm not a 16-year-old girl and I've never been a 16-year-old
Yeah.
to my knowledge.
Fair point.
For me, it's the fact that I grew up knowing a lot more about myths and legends and what mermaids are, and it's their side. And it's the fact that Ursula takes away her siren.
Yeah.
Because it's the siren that makes the sailors fall in love. Well, my issue is that she sang to Eric to make him fall in love with her. And as I've got older, that's the bit that I kind of focus on more.
Okay.
And I think that's just because I'm a boy.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm just doing my own little, #MeToo kind of thing. Seen a little bit.
Yeah.
So I don't think about it. That's where
Yeah.
And as I get older and with things happening in my life that are happening in my life, I should say, and I know I've seen it on the internet and things like that. I think with The Little Mermaid is, as a child, you link up with Ariel. I think both of you have said, yeah, I can relate to that character. I like that character because she is a child. She's portrayed as a child. We've talked about Jodie Benson's voice being child. That's the reason with Eric being cast and whatnot. And as you get older, you kind of stop leaning to side with Ariel. And you start thinking, King Triton's got a point.
Yeah. I'm glad you said it, yeah.
Ocean.
Yeah.
You will do as And I think when you start looking into the film in that way, where what message it should give to children, I don't think children pick up on the inappropriateness of change your entire being
for a man.
For a man.
Yeah. They don't
put a spell on this man.
Yeah.
Or,
go and join the weird sea creature drag queen the road to go and change yourself. They don't see that, but as an adult we do. And I think because it was adults making this film, maybe they should have kind of had more of a responsibility over what message they were giving. We mark these films out of 5 and whatnot, and I've written 5 out of 5 because
Really?
Yeah, as a film I can't fault it because it is such a part of what my life is, but more than a film, as a message, as a we looking past the entertainment side, it really does fail on so many levels.
Can I just say, even the song where she sings "legs are required for jumping, dancing" can be problematic. You don't need legs to dance, and there are people that may not have them.
Yeah.
I think, yes, there was a responsibility of the people making that film, which they actually do get right get more right, I should say.
In the live action,
And when they look at, especially the character of Jasmine, and then Pocahontas, and Mulan, and then especially with Elsa, I think they have learnt the lesson, and I think it's because so many people have pointed out the flaw of the character, the flaw of the message. And I think that just goes back to the point where Disney were not expecting this film to do well.
Yeah.
And it surprised them.
Yeah.
But the film itself, the music, the imagery, the very basic story premise
It's very basic.
is good.
Yeah.
I agree,
So I do.
So you give that a 5.
I do give it a 5. I
Nice.
sympathise with, as I say, I find more issue with the whole singing to make someone fall in love with you kind of.
Mm.
It's, to put it bluntly, in an adult world, it's a bit dangerous.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I'm not looking through those eyes at this film.
No.
So I can understand where you come from.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
you make some questionable choices.
Yeah.
She does.
Yeah.
But also, when I sit and watch it, I'm a child when I'm
Yeah.
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 watching it. So
No, I get you.
I get it, because when I'm not watching it, I sympathize and I am on the same page. And as I say,
And when I'm not overthinking it as well, again, it's just a really fun watch. It's a very entertaining film. It's got a heart. It's got a beautiful animation. So yeah, that's why my relationship with Ariel has always been complicated, because I've never been able to just be like, I don't like you. It's just more like you're a bit annoying, but
I know.
clearly there's something I like.
Some celebrities have even come out and stated in interviews, their feelings on the film, and it's like, it's just a film.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
one thing you mentioned it before, and this may cheer you up because with your complicated relationship with Little Mermaid. But when we went to go do a character meet in Florida, we didn't know we were going to do the character meet with Ariel.
Okay.
And I made my own t-shirts. And for my Ariel character meet, I had a flounder one. It was a yellow vest with a print of flounder on it. One I was going to do, but the wait time was too long. And we did the aerial ride, which is very similar to the Haunted Mansion, kind of that one. And it was like, oh my God, only 5 minutes, let's go in. And we got in, and there is a picture of me with Ariel in the middle of me and my partner.
Yeah.
And on my top is Ursula.
Okay.
Giving the dirtiest look.
Brilliant.
She's literally like, obviously we're in a podcast, so you can't see, but she is giving a snidey look. But Ariel so happens to be sat where
direction where the look is being given. That's hilarious.
She's thinking, you're not a good role. So,
yeah.
I hope that cheered you.
I love that. I want to see the photo. If you ever want to send it to me, I'd love to see
it.
Yeah,
you have all my photos.
I've got some. I don't think I've got that one.
Okay.
But I'll send it to me. I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
Thank
you, Owen.
Like blase
with tech, and
I'll
text him and he'll get back to me like 3 days later.
That's fine. I do that sometimes.
I kind of live my life at my own pace as well. Like, there'll be some times when I'll read a text message and then I'll get like a message about a day before we've made plans or whatnot. It's like, are we doing this or not? And I was like, yeah. So we didn't reply back. It's like,
right, but you.
Happening. I thought you were telling me, not asking me.
Right.
So,
that's funny.
Just so we've got scores. Obviously, mine's 5 out of 5.
Or
4. Do you have a?
I would probably say 4 as well out of 5.
I'm not against the 4 either. I think that's. Just while we've got you on, we might as well utilize the Little Mermaid at the parks.
Yeah.
Out of everything, like, because obviously there's the live action show at Florida. Well, there was the puppets. Have you seen that?
The puppets.
Yeah, and
is this from the live action?
This is it's a live action show in the way that they do Beauty and the Beast.
Oh yeah. Is it in Hollywood Studios? It used to be in Hollywood Studios.
Yeah,
that was awful. I loved it so much because it was so bad, and I'm so sad that it's gone for now.
When I say to you, it's sock puppets as fish, I'm not even joking. There's lasers.
The whole thing was just hilariously bad, but so good.
Yes. And what about the Little Mermaid ride? The one that's very similar to.
Love it. You know, the one that you were just mentioning. And you know, we were meant to get a very similar ride in Paris. It was originally meant for Paris before it was in fact in the original concept art for Disneyland Paris in 1992. if you look at the maps originally, it was meant to be built, I think, right next to It's a Small World, where they've got the gates where the parade comes out. You can see on the map, they've said Little Mermaid. So they was hoping to build it. And then it never opened in Paris because of budgets, but it opened in Florida and California instead.
That's so annoying.
It's so sad.
It's in the same vein as I say, the Haunted Mansion, Phantom Manor, and
yeah, very similar.
But it is one of those sit-in rides.
Yeah.
I mean, it is literally a Phantom Manor car.
Yeah, like a Doom Buggy. Yeah. It's like a seashell instead. It's a seashell. You're saying a seashell.
That is really good. I mean, the Ursula is just...
It's amazing, the animatronic. Yeah, everything. I love the under the sea section because there's so many fun, colourful fish that you see. It's amazing for children because it's an omni-mover like Phantom Manor. It very rarely gets long queues. Yeah, I love it. It's one of my favorites in Florida.
I don't know what to call that bit of it because it's Fantasyland, but it's also near the circus.
Like they call it the new Fantasyland, I think, maybe.
Yeah, but the outside is almost like the ship, and when I went, there was a Triton.
Yeah.
And then you meet and greet Ariel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is where
right.
Ursula.
Ariel as a mermaid, which is quite rare.
That is rare.
And her fin, which is cool.
Yes.
It's also awkward because she can't stand, so you have to go and sit next to her.
Yeah.
Because obviously. Yeah.
When we went to the Cinderella breakfast, Ariel came round, and bless her heart, she was lovely. Was really lovely. I do think that some of the performers, the cast members, are excellent because every time that she came to our table was the exact same moment that I decided to put something in my mouth, quick eat it before she came to the table.
Yeah.
I had like these kind of like bacony bits, and I literally was like, and she's like, huh? And I'm like, no. Go away.
Every time it's
shove this in before it gets cold.
That's funny.
Properly. So I can't think of any more in the parks, to be honest with you. Have you done anything else in the parks, Little Mermaid wise?
Well, so the Little Mermaid has a full section in Tokyo Disney Sea. They've got a full building to do with under the sea. Your sister would love this. So yeah, my cousin is a huge Little Mermaid fan. She actually loves mermaids as well, just generally. And yeah, but it's mainly catered to kids, but it's still a very fun area. It's an indoors building almost with like 3 small attractions that are your very typical attractions, like Dumbo style rides, all indoors, but to do with underwater. And they play the score for the Little Mermaid constantly whilst you're in there. It's very beautifully done. Yeah, it's called the Mermaid Lagoon in Tokyo Disney Sea. If you ever want to like search it up, look it up. So yeah, I think that's the only other place that I can think of that has something to do with Little Mermaid. It's cute. It's very beautifully done, but it's not like the rides are not anything special. It's just the whole environment that they've done a good job at. I hope we get something to do with Little Mermaid, like in the new fireworks show in Disneyland Paris coming up next year. That would be cool. Yeah, like the music seems to get used a lot in a lot of the shows and parades and whatnot. So I think that's probably a guarantee, actually.
Under the Sea in when they did the 30th anniversary. They
mix that with Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh yeah, for the Dream and Shine Brighter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We constantly got that on.
So good.
Right. Well.
Yeah, I think we've done everything that we need to about Little Mermaid. Thank you so much for.
Thank you. This was a lot of fun. Very informative as well. I love that.
Well, we'd love to have you back.
Thank you. I'd be happy to.
We've got it recorded, people.
Do you know what? I think it would make my day if you would say TTFN at the end, because for some reason that's become my catchphrase on me. I started saying it for Winnie the Pooh, and I've just not stopped.
Yeah.
TTFN.
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
Oh. Sorry, I just wanted to clarify that. Yeah, I can do it.
Well, it's goodbye from me.
Yeah, goodbye from me.
And
bye from me. TTFN.
TTFN.